Hello everybody, this is CJ Jackson, and I got a story to tell. My fellow brothers, the brothers who have daughters, watch the women around them who could be these women's little girls' influence. My story. I was a stepfather to a girl who I raised from 8 till she turned 18, and for about a year I lived with him, and then me and the ex-girlfriend broke up. And that was a learning experience. It really was. But I chose to stay in the girl's life, not only of my choosing, because at first I wasn't, but due to the auntie who lives out of state, her urgence to not to abandon them. And I was really there for the girl. I wasn't there for the mother at all, since she decided to do what she wanted to do while I was gone. So I just stayed in this whole thing for the stepdaughter. So yeah, I helped her. I raised her, taught her some things. I couldn't teach her to be a woman, but I taught her how to deal with guys and gave her advice when I can. I bought her a few things, what I could, and stuff like that. The one thing when she turned 18 that this whole thing taught me is that no matter how much you put in these girls' heads, is that they have a mind of their own, basically. And probably the same thing with boys, but girls really have a mind of their own. So you can teach them all you want to teach them, but they're gonna do what they're gonna do, want to do anyway. But to help that along was the influence of other women, I believe, too, because I don't know what the mother was teaching her. She says that she was teaching her, some things that are more positive, but you never know what these mothers are putting in their daughter's head until the daughter says anything. And yeah, she used to talk to me, so yeah, I don't. She said a few things her mom said, but really what got me was the influence of a neighbor that she had. And she was my stepdaughter, she's mixed. She has a black father and a interracial mother, black, who's from a black father, and a white mother who's Italian, and I think maybe mixed in with some Native American in there too. So of course the daughter, she's got more of it in her now. The black, who she really don't acknowledge too much of a black. So, but she acknowledges everything else: the Mexican, the Native American, the white side of her. She has a Mexican boyfriend. So, and that's all right. He's a good guy. I met him. He's a good guy. But the influence of this neighbor who's a white lady married to a Mexican guy. I met this lady finally one year. But I noticed a change in my stepdaughter, because she used to tell me about what they used to talk about, about marrying. When she said that this lady mentioned to her about marrying somebody rich, and saying that all most of the rich people or guys are overseas. And and I had to tell her, well, what's the chance of you meeting a rich guy? The chances ain't that good. And and you compete, you're going to be competing with other women as well. So and these women and these guys are not going to be necessarily true to you. I mean, because they got money and they can spend it wherever the heck they want to. And and when she decided to go to college, or local college from where she is, she used to say some things that used to make me, I'm like, think that this stuff sounds kind of feminist, and I would ask her, do you have like a women's studies course or something in college? And she said no. So I would just think that maybe getting this from her neighbor, who she actually was babysitting her little children. That's the other thing I had to put into this story. And so yeah, it gave my stepdaughter a chance to be influenced and talked to by this woman. And like I said, I met this woman. She's like the type. She's not a bad looking woman, but she's the dominant type, so to speak. And the husband, I met him at who works in the same mall that the wife works in, at a shoe store. And he's a fast paced guy. He's a little smaller than she is. She's not big, but he's a small, skinny kind of guy. But but you could kind of tell from her personality who rules the relationship. And she influenced this girl kind of pretty greatly, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that influence from her is just too much. I remember talking to this woman when me and my stepdaughter saw her, and the woman mentioned to me that if she was me, that she would be, I should have been running back to my stepdaughter's mother, which was my ex-girlfriend, who, when she said this, it took probably 2 or 3 big strong bouncers to keep me from saying anything to this woman, because first of all, I don't know if she knew why I left this woman anyway, which was due to some infidelity, not on my part. So I don't know if she realizes this. And I think the reason why she said this was because from the outside, my ex-girlfriend appears to be a very nice woman, but don't let niceness fool you. Don't let being nice to people fool you. Trust me, it could be a cover sometimes. It's a face or a facade, or it's just a cover. So yeah, so my stepdaughter, and I'm listening to this woman, and I just thought to myself, so this is who my stepdaughter is talking to and getting an influence from, so we had a falling out maybe like a year and a half ago, really because my stepdaughter had gotten pregnant, and they didn't want to tell me. Her and her mother didn't want to tell me. Her mother didn't want to tell me because it was a request from the stepdaughter. And so I'm like, well, I'm the stepdad. I mean, I figure, I should know, if anything. I mean, I was disappointed, but I wasn't mad at her. I wasn't going to say, you dirty little woman, you got pregnant. But, that was her. And I would have, been as a supporter. But what got me upset really was them keeping it a secret. And then to top it off, even more, that they figured they wouldn't want to, or the daughter wouldn't want to tell me, because I might go tell their grandparents, who I used to drive a truck for. And so I'm like, that was an insult, because I was like, well, shoot, if y'all want me to be in y'all life and y'all want me to help y'all out and all this other bull crap, if you can't trust me with anything, I mean, because I wasn't going to tell them anyway, why am I even in y'all life? And so I just got so upset that I just said, forget it. I didn't want to talk to him, But I like karma, and I'm going to tell you why. Not too long ago, probably a couple of weeks ago, I decided that, okay, I want to see the baby, So I texted my ex-girlfriend, told her who I was, and I said, yeah, send me a picture of the baby. 4 days later, I get a picture. I get a picture of an older baby and a younger baby, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, There's a picture of I text my ex-girlfriend, asked her, was this a girl? No, she said she says a boy and a girl. And I'm like, okay, are they fraternal twins? And because at first I'm thinking maybe it was an older it was the baby. I'm thinking it was a boy, a baby, and then the baby while it was young. But it turns out it was two babies. So I'm like, I texted her back. I said, fraternal twins? And she said, no. One is, I think 11 months, and the other one is 1 month. the girl is 1 month. The boy was 11. And I just started laughing and shaking my head, because I'm like, wow. So she comes up with two babies, and I'm like, and in a sense, I felt the same way I felt when she had the first one. I was like, well, dang, this girl is in school and she decides to have a baby, but she comes up with two of them. And this, to me, goes to show you that, if you don't use birth control, whether it be a condom or whatever, the pill, which she wasn't on none of them. This is not an accident. Having babies is not an accident if you don't use birth control. So, the mother, I guess she sensed that I was angry or whatever, and I told her, no, I'm not angry. I'm just tripping. She comes up with two babies, and and then the mama, I got to talk with her on the phone, and she said that even with the second one, she did, she said they claimed that they used a rubber, condom, and she may have believed that the boyfriend tricked her, but I'm like, it's possible, but I don't believe it. So, but she winds up with two babies. So after a while, I just got to thinking about it, and I'm saying, well, you know what? This is what you get. This is what you get. Welcome to the world. And this woman, she'll be 20 in November, so she's not even quite 20 yet, and she got two kids. And but luckily she has a man in her life who's pretty good. Like I said, pretty good guy. So I believe he'll be there for her. He's in school, learning a trade, mechanics. Auto diesel. I don't know what he's doing. But I just trip out on this whole thing. So I wonder how much of an influence did this woman have on her even having these kids, because I'm thinking maybe she's having at least the one baby, at least from what I thought, because she wanted to keep the boyfriend around, because he supposedly has a little money, bit of money. I don't, but he's going to school, so he can't lay around, so the living situation is that the daughter and the mother stay together, and the babies all stay there. So I'm the stepfather. As far as the guy, his father, I think he got killed overseas, because he was over at I forget how that happened. I think he got killed overseas or something like that, in the war or something. I think I'm not sure how that is, but it's only him and his mother, and from what I understood, they really didn't get along too tough, so but anyway, like I said, he's a good guy though. He seems to be a good guy. But I just laugh at this whole thing now. So I haven't seen the babies in person yet, so I'm gonna go see them soon. But guys with daughters, beware of the influence of another woman, because you might be teaching them one way, and no doubt it's probably the right way, but these women will tell them something else and just knock everything out of the way. I'm not just the mother, not necessarily the mother, but the influence of other women like aunties, neighbors, whoever, whatever relative, cousins, neighbors, or teachers, or whoever, counselors, whoever it could be. So yeah, just be aware of this, guys, because daughters, I always thought they were precious, still do. But it seemed like what I taught my stepdaughter just went right out the window when she turned 18. So probably at 16, because that's when she supposedly lost her virginity. And so I'm like, wow, okay, ain't really much I could do after that. So I tried my best, and this is what happens. So she gotta live with the consequences, not me. All I could do is just sit and watch, and wait for some, for them to ask for my help. So, guys, watch it with your daughters, because somebody somewhere, if you ain't watching, is gonna, like I said, influence them a whole different way from what you've been teaching them. So, just be careful, guys. This is CJ Jackson. See y'all on the next go round.